Hey everyone, it's Marie Hopkinson here. I'm a Chinese herbalist and an acupuncturist, bringing to you the Chinese Medicine Podcast. So happy to have you with me and to have you along for the journey all this time. I know there's many people that comment and join into the live streams and things like that are just long-term subscribers, and I think this video is going to be for you. So what are we talking about today? I'm launching a new product that I want to share with you, a new course. Now, I've never ever sold anything on this channel before. It is all about self-empowerment and all about teaching you about Chinese medicine. But there comes a time where, there comes a time in everyone's life where I've decided that one is I really want to knuckle down on some of these things that people are interested in. And I know that people are interested in it because they keep asking those questions and you keep coming back and I keep trying to answer them as best as I can. But I want to give you more. I want to give you more than what I can give you on YouTube. It's not because YouTube censors this kind of information. It's not because of me wanting to extort people for money or anything like that. It's because I want you to become my student so that I can teach you step by step along the way. And it's a lot more detailed than a YouTube video. So in a YouTube video, let's say, there can be people from all different kinds of levels of understanding coming onto those videos. So I'm very much aware of that. I don't want people to take things out of context, and I also don't want people to get information and use it recklessly or use it inappropriately. As a practitioner, as a person who is, I have a responsibility for what I say. I try to. And so I'm launching this course to be able to give you an opportunity to come on a journey with me in self-help understandings of Chinese medicine. And in the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about what is in the course, how long it is and when it is, and all of the nitty-gritty and the details. So you can click on the link below this video to go to the website, and that will give you more information. It's another video to kind of explain it. So why am I doing this course? Because I want to help people like yourself to go on a journey of Chinese medicine understanding and be empowered to the most possible way that you can be empowered, I think, to utilize the self-help aspects of Chinese medicine. So there's going to be 3 parts to the course. The first one is the foundations of Chinese medicine. I'm calling it foundational concepts of Chinese medicine. So these are things like yin and yang and the 5 elements, and very similar to what you would learn in a TCM school, except there's going to be more expanding or more time devoted to some of the Shanghan Lun concepts, which are what that means. Boo, 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 boo. What does it mean, Marie? It means the idea of understanding how our body gets sick from cold, from how cold can damage our body, literally a cold or a flu, a type of cold or flu kind of thing could happen to us. And then what happens to our body? What changes happen to our body? And more importantly, why should you understand that as a person who's not a practitioner? Because then you'll know when you can intervene with herbs or diet yourself. You'll know what kind of diet and herbs you can intervene with. And how to understand when you should see a practitioner and when you can help it yourself, like these kinds of things. So it's a fully in-depth kind of course. And who is this for? It's really for people that are interested in Chinese medicine. You might just want a broader understanding of it and you don't really want to become a practitioner, you just want to learn about it more. Well, this might interest you. You might be wanting to become a practitioner, but you're also at the stage of like, oh, I'm not really sure if I want to invest all that time. And also, like, it's $100,000 to be a practitioner in the USA. I'm not sure about the UK, but in Australia it's around $60,000, something like that, maybe 40 to 60,000. So it's expensive. I'm not saying it's a waste of money by any means, because I've invested that money in my own education as well. But there's kind of a stepping stone, I guess, between these things, and that's what I want to, why I want to offer this course for people that are interested, but they want to know, how interested am I? Let's explore these things a little bit more. There's no exams, there's no tests. It's just self-learning. It's just giving you the information in a context where it'll just be you and me and a bunch of other people on Zoom who are like-minded people who want to learn as well. So what I do in my classes normally is I will teach the content. There'll be some slides and there'll be some interactivity. There'll be time to ask questions and talk about things, and and there'll be like a guide of what to expect in the class, like our course outline. So you can grab that from the website. There's a course outline on there week by week, what you can expect to learn. And when the times are, so that might be your next question. I think, oh, this sounds really great, Marie, but when are the times? So there's going to be a couple of options. Everyone who signs up will get access to the post recording. So you'll have a recorded version of the class that you can access weekly, and so that can last you. You'll have access to that for 12 months after you've finished whatever course you've enrolled in. And so you can go back and watch those over and over and over again if you want to. If there's one that you've missed, you can't come to one of the weeks, that's fine. You can watch those on those post-recording things that will be made available to you. And there are 2 times a week, so I'm going to be teaching this twice a week, and you'll have the opportunity to log on at a time that suits you. Now, most people know by now, if you've watched this for a while, I'm in Australia, if you can tell by my accent. And it will be slowed down as well. Look, it won't be me trying to fit as much as possible into a short amount of time where I speak really quickly on YouTube and people say, slow down. It'll be at a nice pace, and you'll definitely be able to kind of, I'll know that, I'll be able to gauge by the interactivity of people, that it'll be at an appropriate pace for people. So don't worry, like where you think, oh, I can't understand everything you're saying because you've Aussie accent. That was an American version of an Aussie accent. Anyway, so there'll be 2 options. One will be a Sunday afternoon in the USA, or Monday morning in Australia for me. And then there'll also be a second option where it'll be Sunday afternoon in Europe, the UK, India. So it'll be Sunday afternoons from 1 to 3 p.m. in the UK, and India it'll be in the late evening, so like 6:30 to 9:30. Now you can come from any country, but these are just the common countries where people contact me from the channel, and the countries I can see where people are tuning in from. So I've tried to make it appropriate for those people. Now, if you're in the eastern states of Australia, you're in Sydney or Melbourne or Queensland, then the most appropriate time slot for you would be Monday morning, 9 till 12. So that's the option. So you have 3 ways to interact in it. I really want people to be able to get the benefit of interacting live on the Zooms, so they're the times that I can kind of make work for my schedule and the time, and to fit in to the times where I think most people would be interested in doing a course. So what's going to happen is there'll be 3 courses over a year, and each one will go for 12 weeks. So the first one that I said is the foundational concepts of Chinese medicine, and that'll go for 12 weeks, and there'll be a little break, and there'll be a break in between Christmas and New Year kind of thing. You can see all the dates on the website there as well. And then the next course I'm going to do is Chinese diet therapy in Chinese medicine, so using foods as medicine. Now, this isn't, this is incredibly detailed, like, so not what I would give on YouTube. Like, it'll be in depth, step by step, like everything I would teach at a university level classes. So I've taught this kind of class at a few colleges in Australia, different colleges over the years, and I've also taught it at a shiatsu school, and I've also taught it at a TAFE for lay people. And I've also, obviously, you know me from the channel, it's not like I need to tell you that I'm good at teaching it, but I want you to understand that this is a different level of teaching. It's to what you would get on YouTube. So it'll be progressive, like you won't be bored because you'll learn more and more. The more that you know, the more then you can know, and you won't sort of go, oh yeah, that old thing that you've said before. Like often on the channel, there's a lot of stuff that we can't really get to just because there's not enough time in the video to get to all of it. So what are we going to cover in this course? So in the Chinese diet therapy course will be the basics of health and digestion, thinking about how does our digestive system work in Chinese medicine, and then thinking about how our body relates to the seasons and to the environment around us. And the context of this is, so if you know this, then you can intervene with things that keep your body healthy. So you can use foods as medicine in 2 ways, right? Most people are kind of aware of that now if you've watched a few of my videos. You can add foods in, like you can, take something to treat something or to alleviate a symptom or because it's good for something, but you can also eliminate foods. And you can say, well, these things aren't serving me in this way. These things aren't helping me. So if I take these out of my diet, or I don't have this as the predominant part of my diet, then I'm going to feel better, from just taking something out of my diet. So what should you be eating to start with is the first thing, rather than just trying to add more stuff into it. And also understanding your body, your own self. Now, this course isn't a replacement for a doctor, for a practitioner. It's not a replacement for your GP, your Western medicine doctor. It's not a replacement for even your Chinese herbalist. But it will give you a stepping stone between that, so that you can empower yourself. Hopefully you won't get sick, and then you won't need to go to a herbalist or an acupuncturist for those things that you were needing to go to as regularly after you've done this course and after you've started implementing this stuff. But it's also recognizing what are the things that I can implement my own self-help things in. And because there's some things that work really great and there's some things that are not so great. And if you've got long established health problems yourself, there's a really good interaction between these self-help things and the treatment that you might get from a practitioner. So I'm not trying to say if you do this course it's going to replace your need for a practitioner, but certainly the plan of this is to empower you to be able to help yourself as best as you can, right? As much as I feel like Chinese medicine could help you, I think you would learn that in this course. So then we get in part of this Chinese diet, we're going to talk about different foods and their functions. So one week will be on fruits and vegetables, one week will be on like meats and poultry and fish, grains and nuts and seeds. We're going to talk about medicinal wines, how to make them yourself. So fun. And then we're going to talk about what about different foods from a Chinese medicine perspective that are common Western foods in our diet. Things like sugars, like refined sugar, fast foods, coffee, these kinds of things will be included in 1 week, talking about that. Talking about lifestyle diets and common diet, how to analyse common diets from a Chinese medicine perspective. So you'll be empowered with the knowledge to kind of assess diets that you know of now, but also ones that come up in the future, that, you know, new fad diets that come out. So we'll discuss some common diets, things like intermittent fasting. We'll discuss the paleo diet. We'll discuss vegan, vegetarian, those kinds of things. And then week 10 we'll be talking about children's health with Chinese diet therapy. So what foods do you use for a baby, for a toddler? What would be the optimal way of using foods as medicine, weaning a child, avoiding allergies and those kinds of things for children. Week 11 we'll be talking about postpartum diet for childbirth. Now you might not be you might be a man, or you might not have a childbirth situation, and you might think, you know, I'm never going to have a kid. But these are very interesting things to know, so that let's say if a friend has a baby and you want to be able to help them with these postpartum foods, like cooking for other people, or just helping in your community, or just simply you might be curious. You want to know about it. And then week 12, we'll be talking about seasonal eating, like how to stay healthy with cycles and longevity practices in Chinese diet therapy. So super duper interesting and highly relevant content to any person that's got a keen interest in traditional Chinese medicine. And I'll be using like classical Chinese medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. So I'll be kind of giving you the proper Chinese medicine as best as I can. I'll be giving you the understanding of this in that way. And these are all things that I've used in my practice. They're all things that I've taught for many years, but they're not just like teaching something for many years really isn't as relevant as practicing things for many years, because that's where you get the tried, tested and true, right? You don't just, I don't want to just give you stuff out of books that you don't necessarily have used, but I will give you stuff out of books and I'll show you how you can get that knowledge and understand the knowledge from books that you might have as well about those things. So if you're wondering, do I need to buy any books to do this course? No, you don't have to. Everything that you learn I'll tell you, and I'll give it to you in slides, and there'll be some handouts and things like that. There will be some recommendations for books along the way that will help you, and maybe if you have books that you're interested in understanding how to read those better, or with better understanding, then this course will certainly help you with that. So, but you don't have to purchase a book to kind of do this course. And then the third one is the really exciting one. So this is prevention medicine, self-treatment and early intervention with Chinese medicine. So in this 12-week course, I'm going to give you everything I possibly know that you can use at home with the right training in a safe way, right? Because there's some things where, okay, you could say that it's safe, but it's not safe unless you've been trained to use it properly. But there are some things that are very easy to learn how to use, and so they can then be safe, right? Nothing is 100% safe. Like, you could die from drinking too much water, so you can't say water's a safe thing. right? Because you can drown in water. Like, everything has a detriment to it if you don't do it properly or you don't have the right parameters about it. And so I'm hoping that by the end of this, you'll have a really good understanding of, one is treatment of pain, self-treatment of pain. So what things you could use, like we're going to talk about external use herbs, poultices, foods. We're going to talk about acupressure. There'll be about 3 or 4 weeks on talking about acupuncture points and channels, how to utilize those acupressure points. I've got many, many years experience in practicing and teaching Chinese massage, which is called Tuina. And when I first graduated Chinese medicine, I was super duper interested in it. Like, I really loved it. I don't do it very much. Well, I don't do it in my practice anymore. But I'm very knowledgeable about how to do acupressure. It's not just simply, pressing the points and touching the points, right? You have to do something to the points to kind of activate them in a way that's working. And how do you know if it's working? So if you've watched some of my acupressure videos, you'll kind of know the little tricks and tips that I've given out over the years, and some of it will be some of that, but there's certainly a lot more that we can go through in working out, like, if you have pain in this area, you should be able to know what points I could use that might, treat those different areas in a self-treatment or self-care kind of way. We're going to talk about the 5 elements and emotions. So understanding your emotions is one of the first keys to kind of being able to control them or work out, is this a physical treatment that I need to do? Which in Chinese medicine, that's the kind of the way we think about it. What acupuncture points could I use in an acupressure way? So pressing those points. And self-care for emotional health. We're going to talk about those kinds of things. That'll be a week on that. We can talk about how to use moxibustion, self-moxibustion at home. This is a massive area of self-treatment that's used in China by people all over, like, often compared to the countryside people. They can't necessarily go into the city, so because that's where the hospitals are. So these people, there's a long tradition of using moxibustion for self-care and treatment of yourself. And it's not just treatment of yourself, but it's like looking after your family. So what if your partner has a sore back? How can you best help them, like with massage, with moxibustion, or with these kinds of things? So I'm going to talk about that. Introduction to Chinese massage and different kinds of styles and self-treatment styles. So this will be stuff that I've distilled out of there's about 28 different kinds of styles that you have, like rolling and pressing and, different kinds of massage techniques. Well, which ones can you use on yourself? Which ones are the most effective to know, and how do you do those properly? And then we're going to talk about herbal medicine for colds and flus. This is a big one, right? A massive one. So it comes back to that first class where we're talking about the different levels or the different stages of being sick that are described in the Shanghan Lun. Well, if you understand those things from a very basic perspective, then when something happens, you can detect, I'm getting a sore throat, this is what I need to do. I'm getting cold, I'm getting shivery and cold, this is what I need to do. And that's where, I don't want to say magic, but it is almost the magic of Chinese medicine takes place, is if you can intervene in those first few hours even of something happening, you're much more likely to get a different result than if you a better result, as in a different result, than if you waited until 2 days later, you're like, I've got a sore throat now, I've got a cough. So the first two, the last course, you have to have taken the first one to be able to go into the last one. It's a prerequisite, otherwise we won't be able to get into the details and take a deep dive in there. But so there'll be opportunity to enroll in the first one first. That's the first one. So I'm opening up. You can basically enroll in all of these and say, right, I really want to get involved in this, and I want to, give it to yourself as a Christmas present, whatever you want to do, and say I want to get involved and I'm going to sign up for all 3, and you'll get a discount if you do that. You can click the link below and that'll tell you the price and the details and the times and all the rest of it, and the fine print. There's no hidden messages there. It's just what it is. And then as time goes on, there'll be opportunity to enroll in the other ones separately. But right now I'm just opening up the first one, and the dates are already set for the next 2. So you can either enroll in the foundational concepts of Chinese medicine by itself if you think, I don't want to invest all this money straight away, I'm not sure if I want to do this, maybe you're not sure about me, you're not sure if you can learn it or the times are going to work for you, then you can just enroll in the first one and get started learning about Chinese medicine. And then if you want to enroll in all of them, you can do that and you'll get a discount. So this is my way of, one is trying to give back to the community of the world in a way that is less reckless than if I put all of this information onto YouTube. I just wouldn't be able to. Like, it's just like, you just can't. There's this thing in Chinese medicine where we think about who's supposed to learn the information, right? As in, it's reckless to give out a little piece of information without the context around it. It's dangerous for some people, and so it's hard to. This is where I've gotten to with the channel. This doesn't mean I'm not going to keep doing videos on the channel. I certainly will be doing that. I'm happy to do the live streams, answer people's questions. That won't change. I'm going to certainly be doing a lot more interviews. I've learned how to use Zoom now for interviews after all this time. And so I'll be doing that, and there's going to be a Zoom interview coming out really soon with a great colleague of mine that I did an interview with last week. So yes, those videos will still be happening and that kind of stuff. But this is a way that you can help yourself, and you can also support the channel. You can support me by doing this. And I'm not going to be opening a Patreon or something like that for the channel at this stage. This is what I'm going to do. So, rather than me writing a book or something like that, I thought I'll do this course, because teaching in person is what I love the most. I really like helping people and explaining things. I really love doing that, and I want to be able to do that more. So this, you enrolling in the course is a win-win, because it helps me to support me to do what I love doing, but it also supports you and empowers you. And most importantly, that's what it's for. I want to empower people to be able to practice the self-care aspects of Chinese medicine independently, where you will be empowered to know. What empowered means you'll know. You won't be at the mercy of somebody else. You will know. You'll know, I can do this, I can do that, and you'll feel like you'll know what to do. You'll know. That's the point. That's the hope. So if you've got a question about the course and you're not sure about it, then you can contact me at chinesemedicinepodcast@gmail.com. That's the email for the podcast. That's the one that I check. There's a couple of other emails I've had floating around that somehow they've been deleted or something's happened to them. So that's the best email to contact me on. If you've got a question, you're like, Marie, I really want to do this, but the time just isn't right, or something's, please get in contact with me, because I'm still open to people's input, and I'd love to just see you enroll in the course and help yourself and get on that self-help journey. So thank you so much for your support of the channel so far, and for your interest in learning about Chinese medicine, and your willingness and your openness to be empowered. And yeah, can't wait to take this journey with you.